Hello, Benjamin Franklin here. If you know anything at all about me, you'll know that my curiosity and my interest in science are well known. In fact, if you read some of the descriptions of my experiments with electricity, you'll be amazed at the types of subject matter, the questions I investigated, and the conclusions I drew. You'd almost think they were the writings of some scientist today, here in the 21st century. So the fact that a number of major universities recognize my work by giving me honorary doctorate degrees should come as no surprise. But what may surprise you is that all this talk about yours truly, Dr. Franklin, has another, more mysterious side. Do you think that those various honorary degrees were the only way I came about my title of Dr. Franklin? No, indeed. And the story I'm about to tell you will help to shed some more light on that. It may even give you a new understanding of my reputation as the Doctor. It was a long time ago. I was walking down Market Street in my hometown of Philadelphia, past an alleyway near my home and print shop. And out of the corner of my eye, I spotted a somewhat strange blue object standing there in the dark that I hadn't noticed before. It looked like a little blue building, or perhaps a closet, except for the fact that it had a small, odd, somewhat ball-shaped object on the top of its peaked roof, a little bit larger than the lightning rod that I'd invented, and this blue ball was very softly, strangely glowing and pulsating. Again, somewhat like my own lightning rod after it had taken a hit of lightning. There was some lettering on the door of this blue structure. I could barely make it out there in the dark. I had to take off my bifocals as I got up closer in an attempt to read it. The sign said, "Police Call Box." I wonder what that is. I'd heard about something called police inspectors, which came about in France by a royal decree from King Louis XIV. I was also aware of a similar establishment of the office of constable in London, England. And we were only beginning to experiment with the idea of neighborhood watchmen in the colonies around that time. And I'm proud to say that I was very instrumental in proposing this idea to the town fathers of Philadelphia. But nowhere did I hear of anything like this little blue structure from which people were supposed to call the police. If we needed to summon a watchman in my day, we simply went looking for one, or knocked on our neighbors' doors. So this was all very new to me, especially the glowing, pulsating ball on the top of this blue box. I half expected another bolt of lightning to strike any moment now, so wondering whether I might possibly take refuge inside if a storm should suddenly appear, I very carefully opened the door to this blue box and tried to peer inside. There's a little bit more light coming from behind the door, and inside, oddly enough, there was a bit of an entranceway that didn't at all measure up to what was on the outside. What I mean to say is, for such a small-sized structure, once I poked my head inside, I discovered an interior that was way out of proportion to the exterior. It was almost like the inside of a large public meeting house, or perhaps even a cathedral. And the device in the center of this giant room resembled in some odd way a pipe organ, surrounded, however, by all strange manner of wires and tubes and scientific apparatus. It was as if I had somehow walked into the middle of someone's experiment. At that point, however, I was torn between immediately going to the exit out of concern for my safety, or on the other hand, lingering yet a little while longer to investigate further. At last my curiosity won out, and I stepped further into this puzzling chamber of mystery. But then the door suddenly closed behind me. Amidst all sorts of other strange sounds and the room started becoming lighter, dispelling the darkness without any evidence of candles, flames, or other illumination. And then I felt as if everything were moving, slowly at first, as if I were on a ship on the ocean, and then faster and faster, as if this modest little blue house I was in had started to pick up speed and was being carried about on the wind, and